The clock ticked slowly in the quiet farmhouse, each second stretching longer than the last. You'd barely settled in when your aunt finally called out dinner's ready. Her voice sounded too cheerful, almost forced, as if hiding something. You walked into the dimly lit dining room and felt a chill run down your spine. The table was meticulously set, every fork and knife glinting in the candlelight. Yet there was something off. The family sat around the table, with their faces pale and staring blankly, and hands neatly folded on their laps. It was as if they were statues posing, and perfectly still in a moment that didn't belong to them. As you sat, you noticed an empty chair across from you, a place that didn't belong to anyone you knew. The chair was pulled out, and its back tilted at an unnatural angle. And then you saw it, a plate set with a half-eaten meal, crusted gravy, dried cranberry sauce, and a withered piece of turkey. Whoever had been there had left a long time ago. You turned to your aunt, who was sitting unnervingly still, her eyes darting between her folded hands and the empty plate. When she finally looked at you, her gaze was hollow, looking like a darkness swallowed her pupils. "We save a seat for him every year," she whispered, her voice trembling. "This meal, it's not ours." Before you could ask, she held up her hand, signaling silence. And then slowly the rest of your family began to eat. A terrible stench wafted up from the turkey on your plate, a smell of decay and rot. You gagged, but your aunt's eyes bore into you with a stern warning. "Eat." With every bite, you felt a crawling sensation under your skin, a cold numbness spreading through your limbs. The family's faces grew slack, eyes unfocused, as if they were losing themselves with every chew, every swallow. You tried to resist, but the more you hesitated, the more the darkness in the room seemed to grow. And then it happened. The creak of the empty chair and the scrape of silverware on the abandoned plate. You stared as something unseen. Something hungry devoured the leftovers of the forgotten meal. When it was finished, a low growl rumbled through the room, shaking the candles and rattling the windows. The creature's unseen presence grew stronger, thickening the air like smoke. Your aunt turned to you, her voice barely a whisper. "He's chosen a new host." In an instant, cold fingers wrapped around your shoulders, an invisible grip tightening until you couldn't breathe. The family's faces blurred into the darkness, and as you struggled, you realized that you weren't alone. You were the meal. You were the sacrifice for an unholy feast.